Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League by every single team. Today we're doing Crystal Palace versus Everton. And I'm going to start this off with an interesting point using my over 20 plus years of coaching experience to give you some sort of better insight. And one of the most important ways of getting down the field is kicking the ball. I know it sounds stupid. Oh, of course it is, Cash, of course. No. It's actually taking the ball and putting it to your furthest player forward, having him knock it down, and then building up the attack from there. Okay? And this is what they do. They put the ball forward, they pump it forward, and they wait. The striker doesn't win it. Not really a bother, because their whole goal is to push. Think of it almost like as rugby. You're going to kick the ball into touch over here and then try to build. Or if you're, NFL guy, they're trying to go for a long pass to get more yardage down the field. They're not trying to run the ball, which would be like little ticky-tack passes. They're trying to pass the ball so they can get down the end of the field and do some damage. Now, it doesn't really matter here in this situation that the striker doesn't win the ball, because the defender is backing up so much, he doesn't really win the ball either. So it's all about that second knockdown. And if your striker does win it, it's not important if you lose the second knockdown. If their defender wins it, it's not important unless you win the second knockdown. So it's all about the second knockdown. And that's what they do well here. They win this little second knockdown with a little flick, and then they start to build play, even though the striker didn't win the header and the defender did. So now they can start building their play, which is fantastic. Have a whack. Hits him in the backside. And, of course, someone's going to call for a penalty because they just don't play football properly. But they keep building the play, and they got down the field, right? Which is the important thing. Overall, Crystal Palace now, they've been stretched because this ball's come in. They're not really in a good defensive shape. You know, look at this guy. He's probably trying to get his team in some sort of defensive line, get forward, get pressure on the ball, and get out. This guy here, bong, 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 bong. Probably not. He's probably yelling about something he saw on Instagram. Oh, no, there he is. He's telling someone what to do. Oh, and we know if you'll put your arms up and you tell someone what to do in the Premier League, we instantly know what's going to happen next. The other team's going to score a goal. But you can also see what's happened. When this ball's come in, they've been pushed back, and there's massive amounts of space on both flanks because they haven't set up for this. This isn't passing plays that they've run through the middle of the team and everyone's come back in lines and formations and structures. They're completely out of formation because you've knocked a long ball over the top and all chaos has broken loose. Good time to score. Right, and let's have a little look. As he knocks that out wide, chaos. Everyone's running in and a little dink header, and we get ourselves our first goal. That is just complete and utter chaos goal from a long ball, which is the easiest way to get down the field. They didn't win it, and they all played out wide, and they did a good job. It's not a bad, it's quite a good goal to sort of score because it isn't. You're not relying on a system or plays or any of that. You've just created that out of nothing, if that makes sense. And defensively, it's hard to actually get back in shape and defend that because you're still in that moment of transition, that moment of chaos, and they've done that well. So think about that transition as well. If you're passing through, that transition takes time so they can get back in defensively shape and do that. If you're just knocking it over the top, there's mass chaos, causes problems, and that's why we get a goal here. Let's get on to the next goal. And of course we have a penalty because it's the Premier League. We have a penalty every single game or other game or whatever, depending on where VAR decides. But this is actually a penalty. Let's watch it. This guy's done a bit of a mazy run. He's getting into the box here. And he's coming up against these two defenders. His body shape's not bad. He doesn't really need to stick his foot in, but he does. And you can clearly see he trips him over and he bundles it into his mate. Yeah, he doesn't have to stick his foot in. And if you look at his body shape when he sticks his foot in, look, he's got his back to the ball. His back's here, his head's facing this way, and he shouldn't be putting his foot in on this side anyway. How's he going to win the ball? He's done a spin move, one of those things I can't stand with bad defendings. Look, his body shape is fine there. His body shape is absolutely fine. But you know he doesn't know how to defend. If he's waving his leg, if his back is to the player, and he's waving his leg from this position, right now, if he's in this position and you're a defender, this is the foot you're looking to tackle with. You're looking to poke it away with that foot right there. As he gets closer. As he gets closer, though, right there, perfect. You're looking to poke it away with your left foot. If he comes in on the inside here, if he comes in on the inside to get his shot away with your right foot, but you're trying to squeeze him this way, and you're trying to tackle with that foot there if he goes past you. He doesn't do that. Watch this. Stops, doesn't understand his body position because he's been feinted, dangles his foot. It's a pen. Yeah. He does his little start steps, scores his pen. Let's get on to the next goal. Here we are. We're looking at this next goal, and if you watched my channel before, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Here we are, and here we're not. We're looking to control the D, because if we can control the D, we can do some good things here, but there's no real control. So what I mean by that, right? If you're this player here, you can mark both these players. What you need to do is come back to the D and stand here. Split the difference, split the two. If you're too far over to one side, you're only marking him, you can never get to this player here. So if he wants to be in the D, he has to get into the middle, right there, he has to. Other than that, you need another player back. You can't have two players on the outside of the box like this. Everyone's fighting for the ball, doing what they're doing. And the reason for this is, look, you've got a lot of players, you win the header, great. But now you've got one guy fighting two, and because he doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't know how to split the two in the D, he can't get to the ball. And first off, his manager should be screaming at him to split the two. Obviously, split the two means stand in between them. So if one gets it, you can go there. The other one gets it, you can go there. And you can just stay in the D. Perfect. But he doesn't do that. So all of a sudden, this guy can get hold of the ball, does a little, dink up pass. You can see the pressure's coming from these Crystal Palace players, but it's all a day late and $1 short. It doesn't really matter at this point because he's got so much time on the ball. He just little knocks it up. Everyone thinks it's going back into the box, and it's not. It's going to the guy he was originally marking, and he just hits it as hard as he can. As he hits this, you can see everyone's onside. There's no problem with that. But of course, this has caught the Crystal Palace defence completely out because they were just looking at defending a corner, and off they go. They're not really geared up in that system that they were then to win the second ball. They only still had the one player out in front, and when it dropped, they were outnumbered massively. Buff, ball goes in, they don't react, he does, gets himself a goal. They all stick their hands up and cry, but they had no idea what was going on. No idea at all. And if they were committing to get out of the box, if we go back to here, they should have got out of the box, and they don't. You can see how, look, actually, let's just play that, just clip, see if I can get it just right, and I'll show you who's at mistake. Right here, this guy right here. Can you see how most of them have got out? Look, not far enough for me, I'd want them out further, but that's kind of the line. He's nowhere near, absolutely nowhere near. And this is discipline again, and he just clearly doesn't have any, and I'd want them out further as well. You get out of there as fast as you can, and you get around that ball, and they haven't done that. They haven't got out, they haven't really done any of their jobs properly, and they haven't reacted to the second ball. So overall, there's got a lot of problems defensively. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, this is absolutely terrible by Jordan Pickford. I don't rate this guy as a goalkeeper. I never have and I never will do. His attitude is terrible. He's not very good. I heard people say, oh, he's good at stopping shots. Okay, that's great. All the goalkeepers are good at stopping shots. And there's a thing called the 80-20 rule, right? So if you think about 80% of what a goalkeeper does is not stopping shots. Okay, that's 80%. 20% is what they do when they're stopping shots. 20% is stopping shots. So he's good at, let's say, 20%. So's most of the goalkeepers. But at the 80%, he is dog-awful dog shit. And what's the 80%, you ask? So the 80% is loads of little different idiosyncrasies that we call about defending corners, controlling the box, controlling the back line, just all of these other things, distribution from the hands, distribution from the feet, understanding and reading the defensive line, are they too far forward? All of that 80% stuff is what a good goalkeeper is. 20% of saving shots, well, great, fantastic. They all do that. So, but this is going to give you a classic example of why Jordan Pickford is so bad in goal and why his attitude is horrible. I'd have him out of my team straight away. So here we go. They nod the ball out. Bump. Like most of this game, it's kind of a bit messy and it's very much down to who wins the second balls. Second ball comes. Little header back in. Oh, not dangerous. It's just a looped up header. Nice and easy for the keeper to claim or a defender, to get rid of. Slow ball, knock back in, and as it comes back in, you can see this guy is going to head the ball right here. You can see he's going for it. He's right underneath it. He knows he can back up a little bit, get there, and get the ball away. What does he do? Ducks. The ball goes in the goal. The only reason he's ducking is because he's getting a call from his goalkeeper. That Premier League defender is not ducking away from that ball without getting a call. He's not doing it. See, let's watch this as it comes across again. As it comes over, we can see he's right there, perfectly in position. He's eyeing that ball up. We know exactly what he's doing. All of a sudden, when the ball comes down, for no reason apparently, he ducks. He's ducked because he's letting the keeper's clearly made a call. And then Jordan Pickford does what Jordan Pickford does after he makes a mistake. He gets up and he starts blaming that guy. And you see him, the defender sticks his finger at him, like waves at him and says, oh, you told me. You can see a little better at this angle here when it comes across, as he ducks. Yeah, but awful, all on Pickford. Let's go on to the last goal. So here we have a classic example of what's called popping up into the pocket of space, or the pocket, and pulling away from the defenders. You can see this guy right here, he's dropped in. That defender cannot go with him. That defender's telling somebody what to do. And as we know, if you're telling someone what to do in the Premier League, your team is about to concede a goal. So what's happened here is these guys are lazy and have been caught out. Okay? And they're not back. So what's ending up happening here is this pocket of space appears. When this ball comes in, it changes everything. Look how many players they've got here. They've got enough around the ball, but they don't have anything on what's called the blind side or on the back side over here because they're over-pressuring, and these guys aren't doing their job. Okay, so why do we know they're not doing their job? You go, oh, how can you say such a thing? Right, if you take the line of the ball as the point of scrimmage, are these players on the right side of the ball? No, they're not. They need to be here. That's why they're in the wrong place and they're being lazy. If you don't do that, well, you're just going to get caught out, and they do. Let's have a look at how they get caught out. The ball comes in, Bosch stops. Do you see how big this pocket is? And no one can get to him. The two defenders can't go with him, and there's a couple of reasons why, but let's go with the simple ones. The first one is, if this guy goes, he's going to be caught out of position because there's that guy there. So if he goes, poof, there's masses of space. If he goes, same problem for him. So they're getting caught out because of these two players. Now, what the analysts will do on Sky Sports and everyone else is blame these defenders. Nothing to do with the defenders. It's these two clowns here not doing any work. These guys, as much as they were pressuring the ball and might have been a little bit out of shape, it's not their concern because they were pressuring the ball, trying to win it back. These two were not. These two are the issue. So now all of a sudden, Bosch, slide rule pass, and it's completely not the player that you think because of watch where this run comes from. The guy that started the pass, which is actually very good. I call it being in motion. When you pass the ball and then be in motion. Where are you going? Don't know, but I'm in motion. I'm going somewhere. I'm doing a thing. And he just goes, and you can see that pocket of space there, and he just exploits it, and he runs, and he runs, and he runs, and as he runs, this guy picks him out. He sees him. This is the decoy run. Picks him out. Slides it into his foot perfectly. Really, really nice. Has a little touch. No one's close enough to even make a challenge. And he just puts it into the corner of the goal. There we go. Not bad. A couple of, as you can see, it's mostly winning second balls and stuff for them. That's how they're winning these. It was just overall a really messy game. But thanks for listening. And I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.